Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 23 of the Locker Room Life podcast. It's a Thanksgiving episode, boys. Thanks to be given for everything that we have, everything we're going to do. And boys, I'm thankful for you. What's going on in life? Let's start with my boy, Logan Kuvo.
Hello, everyone. I've been very, very busy even over Thanksgiving break, but I'm home relaxing with family and friends. Going to be doing some nice Thanksgiving gatherings on Thursday. And yeah, it's just same old, just getting through it, getting ready for the end of the year, Black Friday, Christmas, all these fun things coming up. Bakes?
Frank, thankful for you. Logan, thankful for you. It's good to see you guys. Just got back from a long road trip. We got 3 more weeks until we get to head home, so still up here at school. Yeah, Thanksgiving's just around the corner and still grinding.
Yeah, guys, we were talking about it kind of before we started recording, but I can't believe that it's almost the end of the year. Right when Halloween hits, it literally, the next 2 months just pass by like hyperspeed. It's absolutely nuts. So it's crazy. I always say, like, after Halloween, okay, year's over. And literally that's what happens with the broken schedules, with everybody like so busy. It essentially is done. Life is good over here in AZ. Cooler temperatures are settling in and look like they're consistent. I'm wearing a hoodie, for God's sakes. I'm so happy. But now it's cool. Last week was cool. Little zip by with the boys in Cali, my boys. So being able to get down there for some meetings, but also catch up with our boy JD will. Papa J, what can I say? He's just a beauty. Just second baby, daddy daycare, just buzzing around, playing hockey, being him. So it was cool to see him, but it was pouring rain, which was awesome because I was looking for warmer weather, nice actual temperatures that are doable, and it was just pouring rain. So that sucked. But at the homestead, getting the Christmas decorations out, Christmas trees going up, just the Grinch is being put on the front lawn. I'm buzzing right now.
I'm the Grinch.
You look
Frank,
like the Grinch right now.
Try a foot of snow on the way tonight. We got a foot of snow coming in 2 days before Thanksgiving.
Oh, bud. See, that's what I miss. I miss actual snow on the ground because that's what makes the holidays. Like growing up in Canada, being able to have like white Christmases, you actually feel the holidays. Here it's like hot as hell and then cold. And you're like, epic. There's no snow to show for it unless you drive a couple hours out. But no, a lot going on, boys. You know, holiday season is upon us, but there's a lot of things happening in the hockey world. So kind of want to zip around and discuss some of it. Logan, what do you got?
I wanted to kind of start us off hot. If anyone's familiar with the NHL right now, you can see young talent arising very, very fast. Connor Bedard, former first overall pick, and Macklin Celebrini, former first overall pick, have just been absolutely tearing it up. Same night, Frank, I don't know what the stat was. It was like, I think players under 21, and same night that they had the hat trick. It was amazing. I mean, they're in, those two are in our top 4 in the league with McKinnon and McDavid right now. So it's unbelievable to see. And like I was telling Frank and Bakes earlier this week, it's, that's the next, Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin of this generation. It's so awesome to see and really cool to just kind of get a front row seat to watch it all unfold.
Kind of crazy to think too, especially for Logan and I, like, and me, like, playing and growing up against these guys. It's just insane to see now, like, what they're doing in the NHL and how their game's translated. But I think Logan Cooley had a 5-point game last night, 4 goals and an apple. It's just, it's crazy what these guys are doing out here. And you still have your old timers and the guys who've been around the league for a while, but it's just, you see these young guys coming in and they're just tearing up the league. So it's crazy to see for sure.
It's amazing that the league organically kind of recycles. You know what I'm talking about, guys? You have these superstars and they run the course of time. They run the news lines and they break records. They win championships. And then, I don't know, it's crazy because new prospects are drafted and a lot of them, I hate to say it, but some of them don't pan out, right? But you're always waiting for the next lineup of these 2 stars that the league can kind of get behind, can market, and then create this competition between each other. And I think that this is what we have with, Bedsy and Macklin. It's also 2 different paths, right? Bedsy, I think, is kind of coming into his own now, where Macklin, he seamlessly transitioned into the NHL and been just as good and met all the hype, which I cannot commend these younger players enough for doing things like that because they have the weight of the world on them and the expectations, and for them to just come in and be able to kind of seamlessly be successful. And these guys, Macklin and Will Smith, are beauties. Like 2 guys that are just young, playing in the NHL, having fun with it. I'm so envious because it's so funny and it's so awesome to watch. They're just having fun with the game. You can tell Macklin's out there laughing, and I think Bedsy's kind of getting a feel for his game now, and it's being a little bit more enjoyable, so it's good to see. good young stars for the NHL.
It's awesome. And to Bakes' point before, like, I was in the same tournament as Bedard when at World Select's invite that same year. He played up with the 04s, and he was just a prodigy from that time. And same thing with Macklin. I had played against him my 18U year. It wasn't fun. And it's crazy. You know, my next topic is I just wanted to give a personal shout out to Stephen Holiday. He made his NHL debut for the Ottawa Senators. Biggest congratulations to him and his family. That's just such an awesome accomplishment. And he's very close to me, very close to my family. And Frank had the pleasure of meeting him. And I know Bakes played against him back in his heyday in the USHL. But Stevie, congrats, man. So amazing. And I'm so excited to watch your career unfold.
He's a point per game too, no?
He is.
Played against him back in my USHL days in my freshman year in the Big Ten, and he's an unbelievable player, man. That guy played 5 years in the USHL, and it just continued to develop every year. And he's got an NHL-sized body, and the guy can score. You can't knock that guy off the puck, for sure.
It's amazing to see these guys reach these surreal milestones, right? I can only imagine being drafted, and we talk to a lot of players about just that moment about being drafted, how much of a culmination of the hard work and the dedication that you've kind of worked on the rest of your whole life. And then on top of that, you're grinding to play in the NHL. And finally that moment comes. I mean, can't say enough. Holiday is beauty of a guy also. Another guy that just loves hockey. And, you know, we talked to Scooter too. Like, this guy puts in the work. He eats, lives, and breathes hockey. So it's another example of, go back and listen to the Scooter Bricky interview. He talks about Stephen Holiday and the dedication, and the guy he eats, lives, and sleeps hockey. Well-deserved, amazing accomplishment, and the best yet to come. So congrats, my brother.
Let's go, Holly.
So not to get too involved into the off-hockey topics / drama, but Jack Hughes was seen fresh off his surgery. It looked to be a date with Tate McRae at a nice restaurant. So I just want to know what your guys' thoughts are on that. She was previously dating Cole Sillinger for a while.
Bakes, we need to set you up with a segment, celebrity breaking news. Bakes is going to be breaking the celebrity news gossip NHL Players Edition. So, hey, when you're injured, man, you got to pass the time somehow. And if you're going to pass the time, Jack Hughes, killing it on the ice, killing it off the ice. What can I say?
Dude,
she's a rocket.
It wasn't just a nice restaurant. I think it was that one that all those Giants players talk about, and all the one that, like, you need to get a special invitation to. I don't think it was like the 12 Park Place or whatever or something. It was a nice restaurant. It wasn't just like a $1,000 dinner. You sly dog. That's all I can say about Jack Hughes. You sly dog.
You're young, making millions of bucks. Why not? Why not?
Why not date an international superstar?
So we'll see what develops after that. But for the next topic, I don't know if you guys have seen the video or any of you listeners out there, but Connor Bedard with some of his teammates, I don't know necessarily where he was going. I know they were on the road, and
it was in Buffalo.
It was in Buffalo, right? And this guy wouldn't leave him alone. I mean, wanted some autographs, but it wasn't just like one card, right? Like, he had pages of cards, and he just wouldn't leave the guy alone. And I kind of felt bad for the guy. These guys invest their time, and sure, they will sign autographs when the time's right. But like, when someone says no, just give the guy some space, man. You got to think the little free time they do get, they just don't want to be bothered. So I don't know. Wanted to see what your guys' thoughts were on that, and if you have seen that video.
I did see it. And all I got to say is, fans, read the room. These guys live their life in a daily routine. Hockey players especially are known to be highly regimented people. You were with the boys, you're just trying to get a bite. And if you see them, give them their space. If I could see if they asked once, hey guys, like, can we get your autograph? Which is awesome. And a lot of hockey players are cordial enough to stop, give you an autograph. You know they will. But to be obsessive about it, it's just over the top, and just don't do it. It's just poor manners at the end of the day. It's ethically bad to do. And also, especially in the social media age, right? It puts a lot of the players in a bad situation because everything's recorded. Everything's on a phone. Everything has a video. Connor Bedard, like, watching that video is played it, I think, correctly, where he was in respect to his teammates, engaging still, but obviously trying to establish boundaries. So read the room, fans. I know you're fanatics. I know these are your heroes, but just give them their space when you see them out.
The vibe I got from that was that those guys know, I think especially at that high level, those guys really know whether or not, it's a genuine autograph or you just want to make some money. Because That's what a lot of Connor Bedard's autograph, everyone knows, it sells for thousands of dollars. It's some of them see it and don't do it. And I think that was kind of the situation within it, because I think that the guy had bothered him like before or somewhere else. But exactly what Frank said, read the room. He invests all of his time into supplying for the fans. It's literally his job. It's all of their jobs. Definitely just give him his space. It's an elite level athlete. He definitely needs his time alone and with his teammates just walking.
All right, boys. The holiday season, like we said, is upon us, and another amazing event is upon us. The World Junior Championships. For me, it takes me back to my childhood. Growing up in Canada, literally, it's culture to sit in front of the TV during the holiday season. The snow's falling, people are laughing, and the World Junior Championships are coming up. This is something that is like cultic to me, because it's just a collection of, when you're growing up, everybody wants to play at the World Junior Championships. Everybody wants to play for their respective country, and what an honor. And they do such a good job in each country. And it's funny because it's televised in all the countries, right, respectively. But every country does a really good job to keep that aspirational aspect of this tournament that keeps the younger generation wanting to play. And just want to get your guys' thoughts on it, because yes, the countries are stacked. They always are. It's a top talent. But I think it's the nostalgic feeling that I want to hear you guys. Like, what does the World Junior Championships mean to you guys, like, growing up?
Frankie, such a good question. I am the same way. It usually was, I was in the hotel somewhere with my team, and we were all watching it together on the road and watching actual World Jays. And I'll never forget watching the outdoor game where Brady Tkachuk scored. That was like pinnacle World Juniors, like the greatest memory I have from it. It's so special for these guys on top of it, just to be able to do that. And we got to talk to some guys, just so amazing. And yeah, I'm really, really pumped. It's going to be a blast.
I have this scheduled, marked on my calendar every year. Obviously, everyone watches it. It's kind of more a little high scoring, fun to watch in that aspect. And you never know what's going to happen. You live for the USA Canada matchup for guys like us. I mean, these kids are working towards a gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal, and they come from all over. So I love to see like the next generation of talent coming up to watch, and don't know who's going to win this year, but I'm going to be rooting for USA.
And the last thing I'll say to that, obviously, go USA, but it's also this time for these players to be on the map. This is their time for make a statement. You saw Zegras, Caulfield, all these guys made a statement at World Juniors, and it translated. So it's really exciting for them on top of it.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to have a couple guys that have played in the World Juniors. Obviously, the Mako Eagle, Brand Svoboda, that won. Just being able to describe that moment, being part of such a monumental game, right? That one went into overtime. It was an overtime winner, and just I can only imagine the feeling of being part of something on a huge stage, a world stage, because let's be honest, that is the focus of the hockey world during that time frame. Everybody's by the TV, everybody's with family. So I think it's just one of those special tournaments, and good luck to everybody out there. Can't wait to watch it. Boys, new this year, we were able to get a little glimpse from Sean Hogan from College Hockey Inc., the Spangler Cup, which will be happening in Davos this year. First time ever, college hockey players are going to be on the roster, and the roster is stacked. But more importantly, this is just another great move for college hockey, creating another great tournament for players to be inspired by, and also a larger stage for them to position themselves for their careers right now, but also forward. And I think putting them on the world stage, it just shows the growth of hockey as a whole. And I love to see it, because we're always working towards events that will move the hockey world forward. And I think this is one of them. Guys, what do you think?
Frank, I was just going to say the same thing. It's so big for hockey in general, not just college hockey. It's huge for that, really allowing these NCAA players to showcase themselves at a different level, but still an international level. It's awesome. You're going to see more and more of these pop up, in my opinion, of really trying to highlight these players across all these different levels, no matter who you are, as hockey keeps growing. It's so exciting to see, and I'm definitely going to tune into that. What are the dates, Frank? Do you know?
I believe it's the 26th. Don't quote me on that, but I need to recheck schedules. But I think when I took a quick glimpse today, I believe the 26th is when they start off. So kind of watching the World Juniors. Already told my wife, hockey all holiday long. Get ready. Yes.
I really don't know what to expect. That's why I'm kind of also extremely excited being the first year of this. But I think one thing to kind of look at is it's obviously loaded in talent, but a lot of these guys are undrafted free agents. So kind of back to your guys' points, it's one of those things where you have like a golden opportunity to showcase what you have and you don't know what it could lead to. A lot of these guys are juniors, some seniors in college. So this is kind of really their last go around before trying to get something at the pro level, and it being in Europe too is also super cool.
Another shout out to Sean Hogan, College Hockey Inc. You guys are doing an amazing job merging the hockey worlds, merging all different levels. So had to say thank you again for him for coming on, because he was able to give us a little bit of a glimpse into the future plans of college hockey. So keep it growing. All right, boys. This week's episode, and this is completely honest with you guys, there was a lot of different ways that we wanted to deliver this, but the best way to say this episode is that it's a story about not only hockey, but it's about life, how things transcend sport and they kind of merge into life. We don't want to spoil too much of the interview. We have Dylan Ghaemi, goaltender for Stonehill College, accomplished player, an amazing person, but went through a traumatic event, which it kind of changed the course of his life, but for the better. Like we said, we don't want to spoil too much of the interview because we'd love for you guys to tune into it. It's a story that will change your life just by hearing it. The only thing I can say is that it makes you thankful for everything you have. So, guys, what did you think?
I think you're 100% right, man. It's really an amazing conversation at the end of the day. I'm so glad that he could sit there and be able to talk to us about that, especially. It means the world to me, and it means the world to this platform more than anything. It's just a key thing out there that you just got to be thankful for everyone in your life who has, really stuck their neck out there for you in any way, whether it just be, my two best friends getting on a podcast with me or someone holding the door open for you. I think just kindness is going to always win. I'm just so thankful to be able to be in the position that I am right now, leaving college and doing all these awesome things. It's really such a dream come true. I can't thank my support system enough. And, Dylan really allowed me to reflect back on that after experiencing this podcast. It was life-changing, to say the least. It was awesome. And I will say, to end that, viewer discretion is definitely advised in these young kids. Anyone, definitely, if you're going to, listen with your family, but I would say, just viewer discretion advised as you're listening through it.
I remember when this happened in real time and, the hockey world was shook. And first off, thank God he's okay. But kind of to your guys' point, waking up every day, whether it's hockey or in life, there's a lot of things that are going to happen. And I think just taking a second to realize like how thankful we are and to be able to do what we do every day and whatever that may be, it's a blessing in disguise, and just don't take it for granted.
Like the boys said, this is a life changer, and we hope that you guys enjoy it. We were definitely just in awe of the whole situation, but more importantly, very thankful that he was able to speak 100% candidly about it. So like Logan said, viewer discretion advised, but also he goes into very intricate detail of the events, which adds to the story. But the younger generation out there that's listening, please make sure that you're listening with your parents, or parents, please filter this one episode. So we just wanted to make sure that we stated that up front. So Dylan Ghaemi, Stonehill College. I hope you guys enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, honored to be joined by today's guest, Dylan Ghaemi, Stonehill College stud goaltender. But more importantly, hockey is crazy, right? The journey, the story. And in all honesty, we're excited to talk to Dylan because there's a crazy, crazy story that everybody is going to really want to hear about. So, Dylan, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me. Super excited.
We like to just talk about how we all fell in love with this game of hockey. Give us a breakdown when you fell in love with hockey, how it all started.
I didn't come from a hockey background. My dad played professional soccer. My mom, they're both immigrants from Iran. I played soccer growing up just when my dad played. And my sister had a friend that she went to their hockey game and she brought me with. I was in awe, especially gear, the goalies. It was the coolest thing to me. So I was like, I got to try this, whatever. So back to my parents and they're like, no, you keep trying sports. I tried lacrosse. I hated it. I tried baseball. I hated it. I was trying things. She's like, we're not going to buy all this equipment for you to not try it. You got to learn how to skate. So, and I learned how to skate. And she's like, all right. And I said, I was like, I want to be the goalie. And no way, no way. Same thing. And it's like, all right. Eventually, I was kind of just playing player in front of the net and blocking everything. And my coach went to my mom. He doesn't even want to play offense. He just wants to be a goalie. So I couldn't really stop. That was my big thing. I couldn't stop. I couldn't really play offense because I just go flying into the boards.
Buddy, I can relate to that. I played goalie also, and a lot of it was back in the day. You're like, you're the worst skater. You're going to play goalie.
Yeah.
Like, all right, dude, I'm in. But then you realize later on, no, the goalie's got to be the best skater. Like, what the hell? And that completely changed everything that I had to do from there.
I remember when the goaltending gets complex. That age isn't fun when it's not just about the gear.
Your jump from playing local youth hockey to advancing up the ranks and now being at Stonehill, talk about that a little bit. That's awesome.
I kind of never really had easy path. Like I was always kind of a secondary guy, but I prided myself on chipping away, stealing the job later in the season. You know, I had to leave. I'm from Rochester. I had to drive out to Syracuse to, find a place where I could have the net and really showcase myself. And like I went to New Hampshire, I went to New Jersey. It was kind of finding where I was wanted. And I think a little bit of it was I was so young and I would jump around a lot, and like that's partially on me. But no, it was kind of an interesting experience, especially playing juniors during COVID. My 2 years, like we never really even started. We would start, stop, start, then we'd play in the bubble. And the other team is like 12 guys because half their guys got COVID. It's like a joke. Like it doesn't even count. They didn't even go on our lead prospects. Kind of not having that in like 2 years. It was crazy. Got lucky at Stonehill.
Yeah, so walk us through that. It was a crazy process. The normal recruiting process for guys is like, okay, you get a full season, you have some conversations with some people, some guys come out of the weeds, and all of a sudden you start to have more accelerated conversations, which then becomes your choice. So I go into that because that is an interesting time. I always love hearing people's stories during COVID because even when Logan talks about playing in COVID, it's crazy. You forget that nobody was playing hockey. So it's like you couldn't player evaluations on anybody because there was nobody playing.
My first year, I played up in Canada in Red Lake in the SIJ. Gritty league. We started, pause. I ended up getting dished to an SJ team to get some games. Got some games with Estevan finally, in a bubble, but they didn't even go on there was no stats of those games. So it's essentially useless. I played them for nothing. After that first year, I'm like, all right, I'm playing in the States in the North South, or I'm not playing in Canada. Tried, and I ended up in training camp late, and then I dislocated my shoulder. It was a preseason game. I think it was an inter squad, honestly. Long story short, I got waived after that, and my agent at the time was based out of Sweden. He's like, I have this unreal opportunity for you. They're done with the pauses. There's no masks in Sweden. And being the young kid I was, dude, let's go. Yep. It was right around the time that YouTuber goalie was playing over there. And I'm like, all right, dude, he makes it seem like it's not that bad. I'll go over there and do it. So I go over there, and mistake on me again. I didn't do my research. I go over there. No one on the team speaks English. No one. I get to, 2 guys pick me up from the airport, came up to me like, oh, hockey. And they show me my elite prospects. They go, you? Yeah. Bring me 2 random guys. I have no idea what I'm doing. Bring me to this apartment in Sweden. So I go to bed. I'm obviously jet lagged. All of a sudden I hear banging like it's the police at my door. Whatever. It's the coach and the entire staff. And they're trying to take me on a tour of the city, whatever. Google translating everything. I was in Karlskrona at the time, which is in southern Sweden. It was actually a pretty nice city and a good setup. It was the top level junior. So it was pretty good, whatever. I was doing fairly well, taking a little bit to adjust to the European game. And then their goalie from the pro team came down, and they go, okay, we put you on loan pro. Go, okay, sure. That sounds cool. At that time, I didn't care about NCAA. I was like, oh, that's sick. So I go, and it's pretty much men's league, the worst hockey I've ever played. And they're like, you got to spend 2 months here. And it was in this small town that 30 people. There's 2 restaurants, and I'm like, I can't. Literally, I call my mom on the verge of tears. I'm like, Mom, I got to get out of here. I'm a picky eater too, and it's a lot of seafood there, and I don't like seafood. So long story short, I went home. I had one of those common horror stories where they held my rights, so I was not playing the rest of the year. So I was speaking to a bunch of schools, mostly Division III and youth sport. Didn't really have anything D1. Obviously, I didn't play that year. I didn't really expect much, but I believed in myself. That was always my goal growing up. Being a bigger kid and like an athletic goalie, I knew I could play at the Division 1 level. I'm sitting in a Swedish airport on my way home, emailing probably every single NCAA D1, D3, U Sport, ACAC, BCIH, like any sort of college that'll like take me. To be honest, didn't have a ton of interest. Got like an interest from this school named Stonehill, and I looked and I was like D2. I thought D2, I was, oh, that means club. So I didn't really look into it, whatever. And I was kind of looking at some of the D3 schools, and one of my like old coaches sent me an article saying, oh, this Stonehill school is going D1. Oh, I got an email from them. I should probably hit him up. So I call the guy and it's, oh yeah, come down to visit. You'll love the campus, whatever. And they hadn't turned D1 publicly yet, but it like behind the scenes already went through. You already saw it on Twitter and everything. So I came on the visit and I was expecting him to tell me at some point. He doesn't tell me that they turned D1. Doesn't mention anything, whatever. So I leave the visit. He's like, yeah, we like you. We'll be in touch. We got to wait to hear from the school if you get in or not. I don't hear anything for like 2.5 months. I'm texting him constantly. Hey, what do you know? Like, what are you seeing? Where are you guys at? Whatever. So I'm kind of at that point. I didn't have a ton of interest D3, and the interest I did have was in spots. Like I didn't want to go in like 200 person school in the middle of nowhere. So I was like, at that point, I was going to go to like UNLV or Arizona and just play club. So I was just kind of waiting and gone. It was the most stressful summer of my life, waiting to see where I was going to play. One day I got a text from Stonehill. We'll make a decision on you tomorrow by noon. Are you still interested? Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, for sure. And at that point, I verbally told the coach, hey, I'm coming to play for you to a Division 3 squad in Wisconsin. He texted me the next day like, hey, we're going to take you. I need to know right now if you're going to take it. Yep, taking it. I don't care. So I called the coach from Wisconsin. Like, thankfully, like he was super good guy about it. He's like, oh yeah, I totally understand. Division 1, go for it. So, I came in and I literally took the offer before I got the scholarship. They didn't even tell me what my scholarship was. He was just like, you can be on the team. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. So thankfully, because we turned D1 so late, he didn't have money left. He needed a goalie and another line of forwards. And he took a gamble and he's like 6'4", like, sure, let's see if he can play, and spent the money on the forwards. So, I was able to get a lot of money academically, and, they helped me out a bunch. So that kind of worked out. But yeah, it's kind of like I said, like a really weird story, but it took hours, and I couldn't tell you how many emails and texts I sent to that old staff at Stonehill.
Buddy, that's such an epic story. And,
That's awesome, dude.
On this podcast, we're really big on telling the journey. And there's a lot of things that happen on everybody's journey that nobody has any idea of. And that's what we love to really hone in on. And I want to roll it back a little bit to something you said that was pretty important about being in Sweden, right? Take us back. You're playing in this league where you're thinking a lot of different things. You're thinking, is this the culmination of my hockey career? Because if you think about the landscape of the world, you never even really knew if and when hockey would be back on track to its quote unquote like normal stage. So you're playing in a foreign country, just want to muck some McDonald's, and then you're just thinking in your small apartment, when and what is next for me? So kind of take us through that thought process, because those are the things that we're talking about. People have no idea of that people go through.
So honestly, like another funny story, like there was an issue with the ice between the first and second period. So we had a longer delay. And usually I just sit in my stall, and when I got up and went to the bathroom, whatever, and I caught myself like looking in the mirror and I'm like, what am I doing? There was like literally like a 45-year-old on the team next to me, gray hair. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm 20 years old. I gotta like figure it out. This isn't it. What is the dream here? Go up, move up like a few leagues and make 15, 20K a year. I need to go to college. Like I've always been like a school guy, and my sister's a doctor. Like, I have to live up to that height. So
what do you want to do after school?
I'm going to law school next year.
NHLPA?
Yeah, no, I'm going to be applying for it in May when I get my degree.
That's amazing, dude.
But I've actually, before I even started with IBA, that was my plan to go to law school. I've always just liked reading. It's just always like come natural to me, law. So funny. It aligned really well with IBA.
Back to that story. So you're sitting there. It's kind of like a crossroads, right? You're thinking, what is my real goal here? And what's my purpose? Exactly. And more importantly, you're kind of thinking about life without hockey. And I think it's funny because you think of life always with hockey in it. But there's some harsh realities that happen through the course of that journey when you're really thinking about, okay, what does my life look like without hockey? And can I still reach my goals? And I'm sure you were dealing with that as well.
Yeah, sitting there thinking, I'm like, dude, my parents have always held me and my sister really high standard, and especially in Middle Eastern culture, it's like unacceptable to be like a loser, pretty much. Like, you have to be successful. What am I doing? My sense of purpose in that moment, I got to go back to North America. If I can't play junior A there at a level that I think I can play at, then I'm done with hockey. I got to go to school. Like, I got to do something in my life because this isn't it. Seeing all my friends, that was the time where all your friends are in college. Like, seeing all your friends in college while you're in the middle of nowhere in Sweden playing in a men's league game, pretty much.
Not eating food that you want to eat, that just accelerates the process. Like, buddy, I just want to go home. So you're playing at Stonehill. Tell us a little bit about that, because I've heard some really good things just about the school, about the
Yeah.
facilities, and just kind of the program. So kind of take us through that.
Yeah, so I came in under the old staff that was with Division Two, Division Three, NCAA. They were great. I mean, they tried their hardest. I mean, they worked full time and obviously couldn't handle the full Division One thing. It's kind of been cool, seeing the build up. Pretty much my freshman year, we pretty much run like a Division Three team. We didn't have an equipment manager. Like, everything top to bottom was run D3. Like, our meals, we had to pay for our skate sharpening. We had to pay for our tape, everything. And then my junior year, they brought in Coach Berard and his staff, and they completely transformed this program. And, to be honest with you, my sophomore year, so my freshman year, we only played 5 Division One games. We played most of our scheduled Division Three and exhibition. So we went 0-5 in those games. We got blown out every time. 17-6 overall. I would say we were a joke for Division One that year. And then the second year was like the infamous year that we went 1-34. Everyone in the world was making fun of us. So the first 2 years we were a bit of a joke. Last year we had 12 wins and we beat Merrimack. We beat a ranked UMass Lowell team. It's really been cool to kind of see each step of the process, right? Taking the first baby step of, it was such a big deal to play LIU versus now we went into Penn State with the mentality last weekend that we were going to win both games. And unfortunately we came up short, but we gave them hell. And that's something that my freshman year, if we played Penn State, like, whew.
I think it's so cool. You're literally on the forefront of that, especially to be a part of like the school and the changing of the school and the atmosphere and everything around hockey. It must be so cool. I just had to ask, what do you think is a moment that you'd pick out that is the best so far throughout the time there, rounding up?
I got a few. Our first Division One win. I had just gotten surgery though. I was in a lot of pain. I had shoulder surgery my sophomore year. That was a good memory. But I think the first win under the new staff, we played Merrimack. They're gonna get blown out. It doesn't matter. We won. That's to be my favorite memory. You could feel the tides turning and the beliefs start in the locker room after that 1-34 season and beating a Hockey East opponent in night one.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Especially with these Division One teams, newly minted Division One teams, it takes time. And I think the biggest thing, and you're seeing it firsthand, is just from the recruiting side, right? A lot of it is, it's such a big decision for a player. So just being able to really feel comfortable that that's a place that they want to be. Obviously now too, with the transfer portal, being able to see, strong showings, just like what you guys did at Penn State, that influences a lot of the next recruiting classes to be like, these guys are legit. Gives a lot of hope of to say, hey, they could be a couple pieces away and it could be me. So I think that's awesome, man. And for you to be part of the forefront of just a movement, and you'll always remember that in life, to be like, I was part of that whole years from now in Stonehill's like an established D1 program. I was there when it all started, man. So that's awesome. Like, and just for you, just your hockey career, it's so crazy that it's in this moment where that's the reason why I always like to talk about those obstacles, of the journey, because there's always those moments, and I'm sure you felt them. And that was going to parlay into my next question is, what is one of those moments where, wow, I can't believe that I went through that to get to here?
Like my first game against LIU, I didn't even play. It was in warm-ups. And I remember looking as we were like skating around, looked across the red line. And I was like, holy dude, I did it. It was always my goal to play Division One. Some kids always say, I want to play in the NHL. I want to play in the NHL. For whatever reason, said I just want to play Division One. After my first year in juniors, I thought there was no way I'd ever play Division One. Spent the last 2 years telling myself it was okay, and looking across the blue line and seeing even LIU, who wasn't a team when I was growing up, like seeing another Division One opponent across the ice, it was pretty surreal. And then first away games, seeing the real like Division One atmosphere from the ice level is crazy.
We always love to ask people that because everybody remembers it. Everybody remembers all of the adversity, all the obstacles that kind of led you to that point.
Yeah.
And everybody has that minted in their brain for you to just be like, this is what it was all worth it. And this is what it was all for. And everybody's journey has the exact same moment. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a cool moment for sure.
All right, man. We are going to dive into some event that happened in your life. We want you to take the floor and kind of, everybody's read a lot of different things about it. And again, social media as a whole. I just love for you to kind of, this perspective and the own personal perspective is something that I'm just very, very honored and excited to be a part of, because you never really know a story until it's from the people that were there. I'm going to say my opinions of just the whole thing as a whole, but I just would love for you to take the floor and kind of just tell us about everything, man.
I'll give you a little background. So I'm from upstate New York. There's a lot of like trails, scenic, a lot of, I live right by a farm. My buddies from hockey always say like, oh, you live in the middle of nowhere, but I don't think it's the middle of nowhere. Super rural, but like super pretty, especially in summer. You know, it doesn't get too hot. So I live literally in my backyard. There's these super nice trails that I like grew up. Like there's a pond up there. I used to like swim up there, and like me and my buddies would go up there for hours. We'd play games. Probably been up there 1,000 times. One of my routines in the summer for my summer training is I would start my day with a fasted walk with my dog. So I have a pit bull. It's more of a jog with her. So it like gets my heart rate up, and then I get right into my workout and everything. So, you know, I just like get up, and literally the first thing I do is I get dressed, pop in my AirPods, and we're going. And usually we go for like 3-4 miles and such. And it was a pretty hot day with the first 90-degree day of the year in Rochester, where I'm from. So I was walking and like, oh, I'm kind of tired today. I'm going to go back a different way. I literally never go back this way. So I go back this way, and you know, this trail pretty out there, but it's not uncommon to see people. Like I'll see maybe 1 to 2 people per walk, and it's usually just, hey, how you doing? Or, you know, sometimes they want to pet my dog or whatever. So I'm walking up, like towards the end of my walk, like to be honest with you, I'm at the point where I'm just absolutely gassed, and my dog is just like running my show. Like, I had my shirt rolled up. It was very clear I was pretty tired. So I'm walking by my dog, and there's this guy in work boots and black long sleeve tee, and he's bigger, and I'm like, must be like doing his weight loss journey. Good for him, whatever. So I like turn down my music always to passing people. And usually I don't have my dog on a leash, but when I pass people, just to be respectful, I put her on a leash. Not that she'll jump at him. So I put her on a leash. He looked at me and smiled, says hi. And I'm like, hey. And then it was a beautiful day it is, first 90-degree day. And he looks back at me. Yeah, it is a nice day. What a weirdo. So unhook my dog, taking steps forward, turn up my music again. Literally thinking in my head, what a weird response. Thinking about how I'm going to tell my buddies about that on Xbox. And then in my peripheral vision, I saw something here. I don't know. This is kind of the only part I'm fuzzy about. I don't know if he was trying to get at my neck at first, and then because I turned, he missed. Because to be honest with you, he had a free shot at me from behind. So I must have, when I turned or something, disrupted something. But I got tackled from the guy I just passed, brought me to the ground. And, you know, at first I was literally in disbelief. I thought like it might have been one of my buddies just like tackling me from behind, excited to see me or something, messing with me. And then where I like saw the knife in his hand, and he's just slashing, and he's breathing super heavy. And I'm like, what do you want? What do you want? Like, do you want money? Begging for my life. And eventually, all right, he's not trying to rob me. He's literally just trying to kill me. We're on the ground. He tackled me. My dog is just off the leash. She's a pit bull, but she's a rescue and scared of everything. So she just sat there and watched. She could have definitely helped me. But he's like on top of me. I'm literally on my stomach. He's slashing me with the knife. I'm trying to do anything to grab it. I knew he was trying to go my chest. I knew kind of, I'm not like a master of self-defense by any means, but I knew kind of that. He's getting me. And then eventually, like one of the times he swiped at me, I grabbed his like wrist like this. And it was the one with the hand, with the knife. And I got up to his hand, and I'm trying to get it out of his hand, and I'm gassed. And it's so hot out. Like we've been going at it for probably 45 seconds to a minute now. And then he starts slashing me, and he gets me in like the very top of the head. And it was one of the ones that caused a skull fracture. That was like the deep one. There was a brain bleed, but it was stable, so I didn't need surgery or anything. But when he had hit me like that, my vision, you know, when you kind of get knocked up, like I'm about to die. I'm literally going to die. And also, while this is all going on, with his other hand, he's taking his thumb like this and trying to gouge my eye all the way in. And I can say like throughout the whole thing that it was the most painful part. That hurts so bad. He's trying to like push my eye in the socket. When he hits me on top of the head and my vision kind of goes a bit, I'm like, dude, my mom, my sister, like my dog, like one of the things I thought about is I was like, I didn't even get to tell my mom that like the director of pro hockey and I didn't even tell her about IBA, like the pro division. I was so proud of that building and I was so excited to tell her and everything. But in that moment, I was like, holy, like this might be it. Like I said, I was out of gas, but it was kind of my last little fight. I kind of knew. I was like, this is it. You got to try. And while he's doing this, grabbing the knife, because I know I'm close. I'm grabbing the knife in my hands. He's just twisting it, ripping open my hands. So while that's happening, he's on my back. So it's like my last fight. I knew I was like, if I don't get out right now, it's dead. I like dig my legs into the ground and essentially use my butt to throw him off the back of me. And it worked. I got to my feet and I'm like, I survived. I knew as soon as I got to my feet, I was like, there's no fucking way this guy's catching me. I'm a Division I athlete. There's no way. I look back at him. He's going for the knife, but it's closer to me. So I grab it, put the knife in his hand, got to my feet. I see my dog right there, grab her. And I'm essentially running like this, like cut open everywhere. Like my chin's open, my lips open, my face is all messed up. I'm running like this. My hands, they look like SpongeBob's hands when he broke them. Everything was hanging on. My pinky was, I mean, they're still not really all there, but they were hanging on by threads, whatever. So I'm screaming. I'm like, help, help. Funny enough, there was 2 kids up to some bad activities, walking back very clearly under the influence of something. And they saw me, obviously shocked. I mean, they turned around because I'm cut open, I'm bloody. My eye was like all the way in. So I'm like, please help me, call 911. Like I just got stabbed, whatever. And they wouldn't get near me. Obviously, like rightfully so. They don't know if I'm what happened. And there's a shortcut that I only know because I live right off of this. And I'm like, there's a shortcut. Come, please, please. Like, I don't want to die. And like, they wouldn't come. And I ran out. So I ran down with my dog. I put her down. I had to put her down. I'm like, dude, like I'm literally covered in blood. I can't. I need to get my heart rate down. Running down this shortcut, my neighbor sees me and comes out. It's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I just got attacked and stabbed. So then she calls 911 and everything. And I live in a pretty quiet town. So when you call 911, everyone shows up. But it takes them a little bit because they don't expect everything to work. So I'm sitting there in the chair, essentially wide open. My shirt's all cut up. I'm bloody everywhere. My neighbor was saying my lip was split in 2. And my chin was right here. You can kind of see the scar. My chin was wide open as well. Sitting there waiting for the ambulance, and my adrenaline's going. I'm honestly in good spirit. Call my sister. She needs to tell my mom, don't call my mom. My sister needs to tell my mom. Sitting there waiting. Funny enough, while I'm waiting there, a school bus, elementary school, pulls up to drop off the kids for the house that I'm actually sitting at. Everyone's looking at me, like even the adults, the police, please just cover me. Like these kids don't need to see it. One of my neighbors, the whole time I was screaming, don't call my mom, call my sister, let her tell my mom. My mom's very sensitive. We're very close. I was like, she's going to have a heart attack if someone needs to tell her in person and like be with her. And one of my neighbors decided to involve themselves and call my mom, which horrible story. But ambulance got there and brought me to the hospital. They're kind of asking me, and like, yeah, I really hope they got this guy because like that he would have killed most people. And they're like, oh, they'll get this guy. They were like fairly confident. Like, there's no way it was in the woods. And lo and behold, like probably 5 minutes later, on his mic, I hear one in custody, and they're like, oh, they got him. So, that was kind of good spirits. But then from there, I had to go to the hospital. Obviously, I had a lot of things to be kind of fixed up. I got 178 stitches, 3 skull fractures. I had one where he was trying to gouge out my eye. He actually broke the socket of my eye while he was trying to gouge it out. He broke my nose, and then the skull fracture on top of my head. I don't know if you might be able to see it. The hair's kind of growing back, but
I was gonna say, buddy, you got it's just like defined
yeah,
peak, dude. Sometimes
I have a lot of hair.
I got hot hair going on right now too, brother. It's okay.
Yeah, no, I had those fractures, but I spent the night in the hospital. That was crazy, but yeah, I was just glad to see my mom and my close ones.
I'm speechless, dude.
I have so many. I have so many questions about
just like first and foremost, I'm very close with Blake, your partner at IBA, and it's when I saw it, dude, I was in shambles. I texted Blake right away when I saw all that stuff. It's wild, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So awesome that you have recovered in the speed that you have. It's crazy, dude. I'm seriously speechless. And you're obviously a crazy situation, but you are an amazing storyteller, and I could tell that.
I've told the story a few times, but some practice.
No, I think it's about the willingness to live, and that's what I really kind of want you to talk about, is because
man,
just for you to be in that moment. And what's everybody's biggest fear in life, and everybody's biggest fear in life is to die. But
Yeah.
what we fear about death is the unknown of it, and I think that that's what a lot of people are scared of, opposed to that you kind of underestimate people's willingness to fight and want to live. And you were right in the teeth of the thoughts in your mind. What was going to be your last thought? What was your last vision? You remember those things, and
Yeah.
when you got up to your feet, were you like,
Yeah.
I just got to get to my feet, and like through this ruckus, which I couldn't even imagine, which probably seemed like it was an hour, because
Yeah. It seems
45 minutes in a high intensity situation like that, dude, it's like it's literally the equivalent of going for like an hour, because
Yeah.
the energy spent in something like that,
Yeah.
emotionally, mentally, physically, you're losing your juice like 10 times faster than you ever would in any situation. So what was that moment where you're like, okay, I'm gonna die, but what was the point when you're like, no, dude, I'm not gonna die, I'm gonna live, I'm gonna fight for this?
I think back to like I'm a huge family guy, like very close to my sister and my mom. To give you a little insight of my family, my dad passed when I was 18 from a heart attack, like unexpectedly. And we all got super close after that, and like always, reminded each other of, how much we love each other, and a lot of support throughout that. And I really did take my dad's passing really hard. They really helped me. I got off track quite a bit in my life. Like I said, I was in the middle of nowhere in Sweden, but they really helped me out. I've kind of assumed like the role of the man in the house. And I was thinking, like, if I go down, like, who's going to protect my mom, my sister? She's my older sister. She's married and a doctor, but who's going to protect my mom? And then seeing when my father passed, how it affected them, I can't imagine my mom, like, if her kid died. And like that's like, and I'm thinking all this in the moment, like you said, it felt like an hour. My mom's gonna see that I died. Like, I don't even know what she's gonna do. She's gonna go crazy. And I was just like, I literally can't. I said in an interview right afterwards, like you can see it on the internet. I'm like all bandaged up still, and like my eyes still like swollen shut. And like, yeah, I fought for my mom, but it was truly what got me through it. Is I was like, I can't do that to my mom again.
Wow, just still wow. But your recovery process through it all, and returning back to playing goalie, and then being at Stonehill, like it's badass. It's awesome.
Funny thing, after I saw my mom, one of my first calls was to Coach Berard at Stonehill, and I was like, "Hey, tell him I'm coming back. I don't even want him to think about like the fact that this is going to make me not." Because it was like my senior year. I knew it was going to be my last year of hockey this year. I'm going out on my terms. Before I even knew the extent of my injuries, I told him I was going back. Like, I didn't even know. I had really bad injuries to my hands. I didn't even know at the time. I told him, I'm like, I don't care. I'm betting on myself. I know I'll be back.
So take us through a little bit too, because I mean, that's part of the process and the journey as well. The recovery process, like with severe injuries like that, there's certain things that just help you live life every day. So walk us through kind of the timeline and how that process, and just your mindset of, is this really worth it? Do I really want to do this? But it seems you were just hell bent on, no, man, I'm going to do this. I'm coming back. And this is my motivating factor.
The way I was raised, never to have like a victims or like a why me mentality. My parents were both refugees from Iran. Like they were given nothing, but they didn't use that as an excuse. Like both of them, had great careers and raised two great kids. I'm headed to law school. My sister's a doctor, not to toot my own horn. I credit them with kind of all that, having that resilience and like the never say no, betting on yourself. Like there was never a doubt in my mind. Like even when the first doctors told me like there's no shot, like there was never a doubt in my mind.
Man,
I mean, it's the epitome of, there's stories that transcend hockey, and I think that this is a marquee moment for us as well, because at the end of the day, we're people. Hockey is something that unites us, and that's one thing that we love about it. We started this because it's about the amazing people that we know and the community that we love, and the stories and the struggles, right? But there's stories that kind of transcend sport. And it's about life, and it's about people. And this is, I can't even wrap my head around it, because it's such an amazing story. And I can't commend you enough on a lot of different levels, because you've been able to, you don't even look like you're skipping a beat, dude. Like you're just kind of like, yeah, like, and that just tells you, it's a testament to your character, man. I can't give you the highest compliment. You really are unfazed by it. You're just like, yeah, like, okay,
man.
To you, it's just a part of your life and your path and being great. And I think that is such an indicator of who you are inside. That's what just is the differentiating factor between people that are average and people that are great. I think to me, that's kind of the definition of your own personal will. Is this is all part of the process for you, man, and
Yeah.
it's amazing. It truly is amazing.
Yeah, I've always kind of had the mindset of I could have sat there and wondered why me all summer and like sat on my couch and cried. Like, yeah, sure, there was days like that. My days were spent like, all right, let's bump in the road. And again, like I think that's something that I got to credit like hockey with a lot is like I went through a lot of that adversity really young, getting cut from teams or, not getting the start on big games or, stuff like that. So just kind of built up that mental resiliency. But I never had a doubt. I've never once doubted my will.
Yeah, man. And I think it's a true testament to your parents. Same thing with us. Like we owe everything to our parents and what they've done for us along this way. And it's so like outside of, everything that had happened last year, your story is so amazing. Either way, coming from such humble roots, it's awesome. It really is. I selfishly want to ask about this, but your next steps, you're first off your role at Icebreaker Advisory, going to law school and applying to be an NHLPA certified agent.
Yeah, so IBA was a pretty cool opportunity. My buddies always joked that I'd be their agent one day, just because I would always connect them with like my old coaches. I was always like reading like rule books and like I guess I gave off agent. My mom always said like you got to practice law, and then when I started doing the agency thing, she's like, "This is literally perfect for you." It was my junior year of college. I was starting to like take my career more serious. Like I kind of realized like, all right, I'm not going to play in the NHL anymore. Like I made a D1. That's probably it. So I'm starting to like get on LinkedIn. My advisor at school told me to get on LinkedIn and start getting on calls. And I got on a call with Patrick Bedell, who works at OT Sports.
Hold on.
Time out.
This is time out, dude. This is crazy.
Patty was my agent for my whole. Patty was my agent for my whole life. He was also on the podcast, and that's amazing. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So he was actually back when he was with Gold Star. Yeah, but he's like a top of the line agent. Huge that he got on the phone with me. I was like shocked. He agreed to get on the phone with me because he was such a big time agent. Gets on the phone with me, ask him his advice, pick his brain. And like one thing he said to me that like really stuck out is he like kind of his story took a nothing job and made a career out of it. He said right after that, he's like, take every opportunity at advancing your career. Lo and behold, like maybe a week and a half later, I was shooting the shit with the CHL to NCAA Instagram account. And he's like, hey, I run an advisory. I was like, oh, I used to intern for one. And he's like, let's hop on the phone. Like, let's see if this works out. And Blake and I ended up having like the same vision. It worked out. He kind of said to provide for our guys in college and pro and our high level junior guys. And we need someone to kind of focus on that. I'm like, perfect. That's exactly what I want to do. And like, I'm already planning on going to law school. The rest is history. Blessing in disguise was like my incident this summer, as I tell this to Blake all the time. Like, I was on my couch essentially for 3 months. I had surgery on 3 outside fingers of both my hands, these ones. So I had access to these fingers, and that's all you need to be an agent. So I literally, for 3 months, all I did, chip away at IBA. Blake pretty much was like, yeah, build a pro division, do what you want. That's how I ran this, and it's been successful so far. We're going to stick with that motto. And, it was a lot of doing research, texting Patrick Bedell, texting other agents, the Google, ChatGPT, a lot of trial and error. Burned definitely a bunch of times. I was essentially waking up at 10 a.m. every day and working from 10 a.m. to 3 a.m. just on everything at IBA, getting all set up, teaching myself the ropes. And from there, like things kind of blew up. Obviously, when you're putting in that kind of work, and true believer, if you put in that kind of work and you're a decent guy, you're going to do fairly well. Things kind of aligned for me again. Got a little bit lucky, but you gotta be putting in the work to get, lucky.
First off, thanks for the nice words, making me feel like a little bit of a stud saying Patty B is a top agent. Not a big deal.
Yeah, no, he's like one of the up and coming ones.
No, for sure. He's amazing.
Every one of the younger, like the Hagans, Coronado, like all those younger guys going to the NHL, they're all with Patrick and his career. They're killing it.
Yeah, they're the best. And, I do things already with IBA at Best Damn Tape with my company. And you and Blake have just built, something so awesome so far. It's been really cool to have, that front row seat to see all you guys do. It's super dope.
Yeah, it's been cool to be a part of, for sure.
Man, I go back to the correlations in life, which is absolutely insane, because it's funny how you kind of went through this traumatic, let's call it what it is. It was a pretty traumatic experience in your hockey journey and your hockey life. And now, again, your resilience has kind of moved you into what the next phase of yourself is. So you not skipping a beat and putting all of that energy into this new venture that is, you're going to be great at it. Especially with Patty Bedell, we love him only because obviously there's connections with the family. But let me tell you about Patty. And for all that you guys are listening, and you guys obviously know this, but Pat's a guy that you meet him one time and you feel like you've known him for years. The first time I met Patty, he literally gave me the biggest hug and he was like, you feel like you've known this guy for years, especially with the new crop of agents and being entrusted with a lot in a young player's life. You have a lot of those traits as well. I think you're very sincere. You have a crazy story where if a player's like, "Oh, I'm not feeling good today," you're like, "Buddy, are you serious?"
Oh my god!
Like,
you have no idea how many times I pulled that out. You have no idea.
You have the ultimate. You're like, dude, no, I've gone through things.
Oh my god.
It's so amazing to see, man. And I feel like you are right where you need to be. It's just, it's amazing. This story just keeps getting more and more layers of where it truly
all
is
kind
amazing.
of builds upon each other. It's funny how it works out.
In life, man, again, you kind of look back and you're like, look, I'm right where I need to be. And as you grow in this next role, in this next phase of your life, you're going to go through the same landmarks, right? Like your first marquee player that become bigger players and bigger players.
Yeah.
And it's like, you always will remember the first big player that you had. And like, look at Patty. I mean, Logan was one of his first.
I was number one, bro. I was the first one.
So just being able to see you transitioning into this part of your life, like I keep saying, not skip a beat. It's amazing to see. You're an amazing person, man. And I can't say enough, Logan. I don't know. There's so many things going through my mind right now. Just the layers of, you think life isn't meant to be in some ways, but it truly is the meaning of sometimes things truly do happen for a reason. You're just an amazing example of that. And it's awesome to hear, man.
Yeah, it's funny. Things come full circle, but I'm definitely like a huge believer in like everything happens for a reason. It can't just be a coincidence that Patty Bedell agreed to get on the phone with me, and a week and a half later, this guy is like, I need someone to run show pretty much of the pro division.
It's wild. I'll ask one more question before we go into the last rapid fire, but how has your journey as a whole, for hockey, life, everything you've been through, how has it, shaped your outlook on life and these next steps that you're taking in these next few years?
Like, I'm super grateful for everything now, like the little things especially. I find myself a lot of times now, like even just, I live with 4 other guys on my team, like even just like in the living room when we're just hanging out, like I find myself thinking to myself, these are the moments you fought for, the reason you fought back. And I was like being really grateful. For instance, like I'm the biggest hater of back skating ever, but thinking I'm so happy that I'm able to back skate. When I was, recovering from my injuries, the first 2 surgeons told me there's no shot you'll ever play hockey. They told me the first one like laughed at me when I said, like, can I play my senior season? It's like, no, I'm serious. Like, so, being grateful for everything. Cause you never know, like you could drive to work one day, get in a car accident. It's kind of one of those things that life can change in the blink of an eye. I never thought when I went out for a walk one morning that my whole life was going to kind of change.
I got one more for you. All the younger generation, all the people that are listening right now, you've said a lot, but what is one piece of advice that you would want to leave people with?
Break into my nerdy side a little bit. I do a lot of reading in my free time. And I just finished up one of David Goggins' books, Can't Hurt Me. And one thing he says over and over, be uncommon amongst uncommon people. To me, that means standing out, amongst great people, always striving to be the best, whatever you want to be. You want to be a fireman, be the best fireman, be the best police officer, be the best agent, be the best lawyer, doctor. I see it as like a competition. I'm a really competitive guy. When I'm trying to recruit a kid from another agency, I see it as me versus that agent. Being uncommon and proving that you can provide something that, other people can't.
I love it. I love it, man.
Just amazing, bro. So I'm going to loosen it up a little bit. Last few rapid fire ones, and then we'll close it up here. But to start it off, what is a favorite save of your career if you had to remember?
There's like a bunch from high school. Playing high school hockey my senior year, that was always like a dream of mine. Like I went to the games growing up. It's super big up there. Having all my buddies see me play was like super cool. Playing like our rival, they were like number 1 in the state. We were number 2. We just tied up the game. Their student section was all over me, like chanting overrated. Like they had all these signs about me, and it was honestly, I was getting pretty pissed off. So it was probably working, but one of their better players got a breakaway. I did not have a good first period. Like I wasn't feeling great that game. I'm gonna get embarrassed, dude. And he shot it, and I got a pretty nice windmill on him.
Ooh, I love it.
Student section went crazy with that one, and I definitely heard some stuff in school about that save. The next day. Yeah, that's the best part about playing college or in high school.
That's amazing. So, if your teammates could define your resilience in one word, what do you think it could be?
I don't know about one word. If I could go two, no quit. Like I've always been a guy, like I don't quit. I might not be the most talented guy, but I try to work my bag off every day. My role here at Stonehill might not be, starting on Friday nights, but working my bag off in practice to help our guys get ready for the weekend, or, working my bag off in a bag skate where I'm miserable and bitching to myself under my breath.
I love it, man.
Man, I'm excited to ask this one. Who is dream goalie partner from any era?
I could go basic and say like Fleury, like that would be fun, but honestly, I got to go Bennington. I like to say like I'm kind of have that mentality because that's just because I think it's cool, or if it's actually like who I am. But I had an interview in high school. I pulled the whole like, do I look nervous? Like that whole interview. Like I always thought he was so cool. So I don't know, just like pick his brain apart would be super cool. And like I know he's hated by a lot of guys, but I'm a huge fan of him.
You got to have edge to play in a game, man. You have to have something. Like you said, it goes back to your point of you got to be great. It first starts off with the belief in yourself, and you got to back it up. Don't get me wrong, but I love to see it. We love to see it. We talk about it all the time, the swagger with hockey players now, being able to just show their personalities. I think social media has really brought that to light, which is exciting, man. Because back in the day, it was just, pucks in deep. Yep. Okay. So just to see hockey players being able to show that they're just as competitive as every other sport, they can talk just as much trash, and they got swagger too. So I love it, man. I love it so much. All right, man. You got a big dub. What's your go-to meal?
Depends. If we're on the road, it's probably going to be a chicken parm sub or chicken parm of some sort. I like to cook, to be honest with you. So honestly, I would come home and throw a steak on the cast iron and homemade fries, and that'll probably be my post-game meal.
I love it.
Brother, that puts a wrap on an absolutely, first and foremost, just thank you. And it's just so awesome to see all the cool things that you're doing and going to continue doing. And thank you for coming on our platform and being vulnerable and sharing that story with us. It's definitely something that means a lot to us and definitely going to mean a lot to our listeners for sure.
Thank you guys for giving me the platform to kind of talk about it loosely.
Yeah, Dylan, I mean, I've said it through the course of this interview, but the definition of people that make it in the world and then don't, I hate to say it, is just resilience, belief in yourself, and being able to overcome adversity and obstacles. And I mean, you've done that in spades, but I think more importantly, this is just part of the process for you. And in your mind that you're going to be great at whatever you do. And that's the thing that's going to make you super successful in life. It doesn't even matter. Hockey's only a small window of our life. And that's one thing that we're really trying to focus in on is we learn a lot from it. We learn a lot from the game, but it's who we are and who we become as people after the fact. That's when we really know how amazing this game is. And I can't thank you enough, man. There's just so much to say, but we're going to pack it in here. And then we're also going to do we'd like to have you on through the course of time, just some follow-ups and some cool things. Yeah. I know you're going to be handling some big guys. So
hopefully next time I'll have a few NHL guys for you.
Yeah, no, you will, man. But thank you so much for the time. We really do appreciate it. And can't say enough, man. It's one of my favorites. There, I said it.
Thank you.
One of my favorites.
I love it. Dylan, thank you so much, brother. You're the best.
Thank you, guys.
All right, man. Later. Thank you again for Dylan Ghaemi joining us, being completely candid about his story. But you know what I really took away from this, guys, is that like in life as a whole, traumatic events are sometimes part of the journey of life, but it's this guy's willingness to rise above that and just all the things that he's going to accomplish for the future. For me, it's like life. There truly is, and I truly believe this, guys, there is a purpose in life for all of us. And when I listen to this story and listening to him tell his story, you can truly know that this guy has an amazing purpose in life. And we can't thank him enough for coming on and talking to us.
I'm a big fan of Dylan. I've been a big fan of him and his business partner, Blake, at, as you've heard, IBA Advisory. He's just so awesome. He has such a beautiful future kind of planned out for him ahead. And we are so excited to watch that unfold. It's going to be, we have a front row seat, and he's going to be on for some more rips around after he gets into his next stages of his life. And we're really, really excited to be a part of it.
Kind of circling back to what you said, Frank, the fact that he was able to overcome that and he's right back to doing what he loves, playing Division I college hockey, finishing up school. It tells a lot about him, and I absolutely love this interview. Crazy story.
Logan, Owen, this wouldn't be possible, not even remotely allowed, without the help of our amazing sponsors, Buddy Hockey Club, Best Damn Tape, Cut Chilled Hockey, Bambino Shave Cream. Thanksgiving. I am so thankful for you guys. I'm so thankful for everything that we've built to this point. I'm so thankful for everybody out there that has taken the time to listen to us, to take the time to have kind words. And I always say that because it is the honest truth. Having kindness, like Logan said, being able to tell somebody and encourage somebody and inspire somebody is a powerful thing. We just try to accomplish that with this platform all the time. So have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Enjoy your loved ones. Enjoy everything this holiday season. And we love you.